I also personally went with this one because it's a happy drink. And I don't know, it felt right during my first playthrough, and ever since then I've gone back to it.
Well, you're kind of having like a depressing conversation. The person seems like kind of upset, so it's kind of nice to have like a happy drink.
It's also just such a pretty color. It's this beautiful fade of pink.
You can also just pick it because you like the color.
Right.
That else is also very valid.
I love her ears. I love them so much.
I'm not currently looking at the stream. Hold on.
Here. Thanks. This is the kind of stuff Sai asks for, you know? Now that you mentioned it. You know, back when Sai reappeared, it seemed like she came here first. Oh yeah, she told me that. Glad she found a familiar face after all that chaos. Did she tell you we had a talk at the back of the bar? You did. Well, it's nothing that important, but she was devastated, you know? She was afraid, tired. It hit me quite hard, not only after seeing her covered in bandages, but also after seeing her so cheerful before. I guess I should be thanking you then. You what? When I met with her, she told me you calmed her down quite a bit. I did. I'm guessing with all that was going on, the desire not to worry me weighed on her. Happened before. So, fun fact about this conversation. Similar to how you can completely miss the conversation with Sai behind the bar, if you don't have that conversation with Sai, you don't get this conversation with Stella.
Okay.
So it's just an entire part of the game that you can completely miss on your first playthrough. And there's a lot of dialogue that I'm not showing you guys because it, you know, if you serve them incorrect drinks, if you serve them different drinks, you get different dialogue. If you get them too drunk.
It's just nice to like leave something for if someone wants to play this game, something that they can do themselves and like explore.
And something I'm doing is I'm not getting anybody overly drunk. You can get these people drunk. Like, that is an actual gameplay mechanic you can do. And the dialogue changes based on how much liquor that person has ingested, how much they have drank. And so it's a very well-written, in-depth game for what essentially is a visual novel.
Well, I think it's like a mix. I haven't played many visual novels, so this might be incorrect of assessment. But it feels like a combination of like a point-and-click adventure and like a visual novel, in my opinion.
Right. The only reason I say it's a visual novel and not directly a point-and-click is because you're not choosing specific dialogue options.
Yeah.
Yes, your actions do affect the game, but it's more so in the way of what you're serving them, which is such a great detail, by the way.
Yeah.
Because this is the only game I've ever found that does this. Is you're not the main character. Jill is. And Jill is just a POV character, you know? You're learning about everybody else's stories through her. And everybody else has a much more interesting story. Not that Jill's story isn't interesting. It is. But you meet a pop star, the person who owns a news company, Sai and Stella, and people who have these really interesting, dynamic lives that, from a gameplay perspective, would have made a better protagonist, you know? Strictly speaking, from what could have been. But instead, you're a bartender. And the only changes that can really happen in the story is around those drinks that you serve.
Well, also, if you were any of the other characters, you, like, based on their occupation, you wouldn't be able to meet this, like, depending on the occupation, you wouldn't be able to meet this variety of people like Jill.
Right.
And in a lot of sense, she's meant to foil a lot of stuff with the other characters, like
Right.
like she is very interesting, but compared to others, she is bland. I hate saying that, but
Right.
because she is a really interesting character.
I know what you mean by it.
Yeah, I'm having trouble explaining. Especially since I haven't watched all the streams for this, so I don't know as much as you do.
I've also played through this game 6 times. You know, this will only be my second time doing 100% perfect run, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But like, think about it. When you play a game, especially one set in a dystopian cyberpunk world such as this, you're playing one of these more extravagant characters. And sure, you might go to a bar, like the one we're in, and talk to the bartender. And it might be some a cute interaction that you might not get, or like a side quest. But to make an entire game based around that concept.
Also, like a lot of like cyberpunk games or like dystopian games, you are the person going to the bar and interacting with the bartender. You're not the bartender interacting with the customers. So there's like a different dynamic because you're not focused solely on like your main character talking to the bartender and like venting your woes.
Right.
You're the bartender listening to those woes while also having your own struggles.
Right. And in the dialogue, the shaping, the way that you get to help these people even though you only ever interact with them at a bar. It's so well written and the world building is beautiful. And I chose to play this game on stream because I wanted to share that world building. I'm a sucker for world building. You want to recommend me a game with a beautiful world. And a well-developed world at that. Cause like
my brain instantly went Broken Age.
Cause like every character you meet, even if it's a one-off interaction, you know that they too have a story. And that's really hard to accomplish. I've written characters. I know how hard that is to do. Especially for a cast as big as this. But they all feel human.
With this game, I feel like both a combination of admiration and jealousy because I have a lot of stories where I have like a large cast like this, and I just wish I knew, like, probably this is like a writer's room, so it's probably like multiple of you writing this, but still I'm just so enamored with like how both well written and like diverse all these stories are. This game is just as cool, man.
And I've done a poor job explaining this before, but my favorite character, as I've said, is Dorothy. And Dorothy is, and I know it sounds bad saying it out loud, because it does. It is bad, right? She is a prostitute who has the look of a child. She is not a child, but she never upgraded her body because she's a robot, right? And I've had a poor way of articulating why I'm so fascinated with her as a character. And I think I finally figured out the best way to say it, right? Is it really shows how messed up the world has become. In such a subtle way, right? Because it's not directly saying the world's gone to hell and that people suck, right? Because it does. It says a lot of that in this game. But with Dorothy, it's very subtle. Because we all know that is gross and wrong. And her job is not the reason I love her as a character. I love her character development, and I love her story. That's why I love her. But knowing that that's what she does for a living, knowing even if though it's by choice and she loves her job, because she does, she loves her job. But knowing she has clientele and knowing there's a market for her is so disheartening and shows how far gone the world is without directly saying it. And that storytelling is beautiful.
Like a more subtle way than like how some people will show how dystopian a world is by like showing like active tragedy or like it's something tragic or fucked up happening to your character, so that you're like, well, of course this is fucked up, because you're like experiencing it like through the character that you've like gotten attached to. But this is like such a small and subtle like fucked up thing. Like when you first meet it, like hear about it, it's just like, oh, that's a little weird and a little fucked up, but okay. But when you like sit and think about it, it like gets more fucked up as you think about it.
Right.
Which is such a great thing, because like it reminds me of like a philosophy of Alfred Hitchcock, where like he talks a big thing about like shock value in his films, like because he does like a lot of suspensey, like shock filled stuff, and he talks about how it's great for like an audience initial viewing to show them, like have this like sudden like dramatic thing happen, like you like throw a bomb under like a table and like all the like people under are none the wiser, and then like blows up, and like that's shock value.
Right.
But it leaves it so on the second viewing, the entire time you're watching this dining scene like play out and like all those small interactions, in the back of your mind you're thinking about the bomb under the table, because you don't know when it's going to set off. And you're basically the person, like you feel like a person sitting in this dining room that has like that knows about it but can't say anything. And it's like a similar thing with Dorothy. It has like that same feeling of like the more you think about it, the more like fuck up and like messed up it feels, sort of. I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly.
No, you are.
Or if I'm explaining is like too convoluted.
No, because I absolutely understand what you're getting at. And
yeah,
I don't know if you were there when Dorothy started talking about her home life for that stream. I don't think you were.
I believe so.
But Dorothy's home life,
I can't remember exactly.
Since we've already seen it in stream, and again, it's another very subtle detail, and it's one of the main reasons I love Dorothy. I know I repeat that a lot. But her story is told through such subtle details and such emotion of this is how she's actually experiencing the world, you know? But she talks about how her mom still sees her as a kid, her adoptive mom, right? And she worries that her mom is using her as a replacement for her dead daughter, right? And when you think about that, and then you think of her profession, and the way that she says that she doesn't want to make her mom sad again, right? You come to the realization that the main reason she hasn't upgraded her body, despite the fact that she says it's because then she'd have more people to compete with, it's because she doesn't want to break her mom's heart. She doesn't want to grow up yet because she knows in a weird way that her mom is using her as a replacement. And while she's anxious about that, the fear of making her mom sad terrifies her more than being that replacement. And that's why she hasn't aged up her body. And you come to that realization and you go, wow. Because it's never at any point in this game is that ever directly stated. It's just beautiful storytelling. And I've been wanting to talk about Dorothy and her story for a while, but I didn't want to until we had gotten to the point where we actually saw it in game.
Yeah, like enough was like shown to stream where you're not like spoiling the experience of it.
Right. And so when I was streaming this game with Lemon and Pike, and I was talking about how Dorothy is my favorite character. And they were like, whoa, that's, you know, because her profession came up. They're like, whoa. And I was like, I can't explain it. Because we haven't gotten there yet. But yeah, no, I love Dorothy. But before I go on more of a tangent. Back to... We're probably going to get to the end of day 15 and probably end off stream because we are only 2 drinks into day 1, into the second day.
Yeah.
And this one has a normal amount of clientele, which is, you know, 2 people before break and after break and 2 drinks per person. So. So it's good that there was someone else for her to share her stress with. Thanks. Sure. I don't think I did anything noteworthy, but sure. I've been wondering, can you really be so calm in the lower parts of the city? I mean, the streets aren't exactly safe. And a cat boomer is sure to become a target. Well, I have my security staff with me at all times, so there's no problem. Oh god, I'm out of drink. Besides, this part of the city is comfier. Come again? Sure, uptown is cleaner and maybe more secure, but it's also too sterile. Around here, you can actually feel the warmth of the people. You feel there's people living. I especially like going to a busy food stand. I feel a warmth there that uptown doesn't have. It's also easier to talk to people. And you finally came. Welcome. If you try to talk to someone in the upper part of the city, they either shrug you off or flat out ignore you. People around here are a bit wary, but they're also more likely to talk to you. Not that things aren't nice there, though. Can I get you something? I feel like having a beer. Make that 2. I just want 1. I'm asking for 1 from me, adding 1 to your order. Oh, that, right. 2 beers. I also think it's funny that the beer is seen as it is the tutorial drink, right? It's the easiest of easy drinks, says the game. When it's not, there's one drink that's easier than this, and it's the Sugar Rush, because the Sugar Rush only has 2 ingredients. But yeah, little rant about that. Here. Thank you. Thanks! Sigh, you should have seen the kids after you left. They were all playing with the toys you picked. You nailed it again this year. They were all asking, where's Sai? Where's Sai? Why do they call you just Sai when they call me Auntie Stella? I don't look that old. Don't worry, they still like you. Sorry I had to leave, but Mom worked overtime that night and I couldn't leave her alone. What happened? Well, there were fireworks and some dog thought it'd be safe to hide in a jar. Little guy managed to get his head and paw inside before getting stuck. And it was plastic, so you couldn't just try to break it. That's messy. She needed someone to hold the dog while she worked. Poor fellow was scared. Well, I'm out. Oh yeah. Well, we'll have a New Year's party this Saturday if you want to come. Sure, it's better than depressing myself when my dad's woes about the next official year. I'll be there. Bye, Jill. Bye, Sai. Careful. Please come again. You want to come too? I'd love to. I'd also like to make up for not coming last time. How was the party? Pretty nice. We played Truth or Dare. Had some fun, broke some glasses. Ate lots and lots of food. Seriously, looking back, the amount of food was ridiculous compared to the number of people who were there. Better leftovers than left hanging, don't you think? Yeah. Can I get you something? Let's try something classy. Okay. So, she asks for something classy. And what I like to do is I like to give her Stella's favorite drink, which is the Cobalt Velvet, which is a classy drink. Because, again, never explicitly stated, but those two are dating and you cannot tell me otherwise. They're gay lovers.
Mm-hmm.
They go everywhere together. They've known each other forever. And they are so unbelievably in love. I get so hyped about it. I love them.
Mm-hmm. I won't fight you against this.
Oops, I messed up.
What'd you do?
I forgot to put ice in it.
Damn.
Something classy. Yep, this is the thing. Stella came in quite cheery about Sunday. This Sunday? Oh yeah. Well, you know, her birthday's actually the 25th. Really? There's a weird story from when she was a kid. She heard Mega Santa's story and somehow she got into her head that being born on the 25th, she was the spiritual reincarnation of the original Santa. Made her start giving out gifts like crazy. She got over it, but the gifting stuck to her. Spiritual reincarnation? Well, the story says that Redmond finally destroyed Santa's spirit. And the Mega Santa was reborn as the manifestation of the Christmas spirit. She thought she was the old Santa's spirit in a new body. That girl was delusional as a kid. Speaking of things you did when you were young, Stella mentioned she was worried about you going back to your old ways. Something about a rough period where you were angry or something. Oh, that? That's sweet that she was worried, but I won't go back to those days just like that, though. Even if I face the same situation, I'm more mature, you know? I'm not a teen anymore. Expected as much. Told her as much. Hey, can you get me something bubbly? Sure. So it's kind of cheating, but the Cobalt Velvet is also bubbly. So I just hand her another one of those. No need to fix something that ain't broke.
Yep.
Here. Bubbly, bubbly. Hey, Jill. Want to know how Stella got her eye? I feel you shouldn't tell me that. She told you my story. Means she likes you enough. It's fine. You remember when I told you that one white knight saved me from another? Let's about the other one. Apparently he was running away after doing something. Don't know. We were at the park and he held us hostage. At one point, they tried to approach and he gouged Stella's eye out. I tried to stop him, but he just went and kicked me. I still remember that kick. I could feel my ribs breaking. There was pain in places I didn't know could feel pain. From time to time, I still relive that day. The kick in my torso. Stella screams. It's chilling. I briefly regained consciousness after the kick, and I felt like I was being lifted. The white knight that attacked us was on the floor, not moving. I was on another white knight's shoulder. He took off his helmet and put it on in anguish Stella. I passed out. When I came to, I was in the hospital. Apparently, the kick ruptured a couple of organs, and I was put on emergency care. I woke up because Stella was punching my leg, telling me to wake up. Damn. Just damn. What made you bring this up? I bring this up because the guy that was here last time I came in, I think he's the one that saved us. No fucking way. Virgilio? Really? What made you think that? Sure, more pounds and years, but I'm pretty sure it's him. There's something about his face I just can't dismiss. I'd like to see him again. Do you know how? You know the Steampunk Museum? Ask for Virgilio there. Gotcha. Well, I'm done for today. Thanks, Jill. Please come again. I'll go take my break, Gil. Sir. And on that note, I'm gonna take a quick 15 to get some more water, because I am thirst.
Okay.
I'm officially back to where I was on my last playthrough of this game.
What, thirsty?
No, day 15 on the break.
Okay.
Last time I played this game on my own, that's where we left off. Anyway, folks, I'll be right back.